Right, so get this. We're diving into Trump's rally at Madison Square Garden.
Okay.
And not just any rally. This one's 9 days before the election.
Wow.
And it sold out 19,500 people, packing the place in New York City, no less. You got to wonder what he's going for here.
Yeah, it's definitely a power move. Madison Square Garden's a legendary venue.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, it's even hosted Republican and Democratic national conventions in the past, but for Trump to choose it now in a state that hasn't gone red since Reagan in 84...
84.
There's more to this than just firing up the base.
Oh, absolutely. It's like he's saying, look, I can even pack a house in the heart of so-called enemy territory. And speaking of the crowd, the lineup of speakers is, well, let's just say it's a mix you don't see every day. We've got the Republican All-Stars, Mike Johnson, Elise Stefanik, Byron Donalds. Clearly the party's taking this event seriously.
They are, but then you've got RFK Jr., Rudy Giuliani, Tucker Carlson figures, who are known for, shall we say, stirring things up.
Right.
Their presence tells us this isn't just a standard campaign stop. It's about grabbing attention, maybe even pulling in voters who wouldn't normally side with Trump.
And that's where the celebrity factor comes in, right?
Exactly.
I mean, you've got Elon Musk, Dana White, the UFC CEO, even Lee Greenwood's performing. It's like a political rally meets a variety show.
I know.
What do you think they're trying to do with that?
Well, think about it. Musk, White. They've both campaigned for Trump before. They represent that outsider vibe, the business world shaking things up. It's likely they're trying to attract voters who feel disconnected from traditional politics.
Interesting.
Those who see Trump as a disruptor.
So tapping into that anti-establishment sentiment. But then you have RFK Jr. Giuliani. What's the strategy there?
This could be a play for disaffected Democrats. Folks who are unhappy with the current administration. And might be open to something different. Or it could be about doubling down on specific issues that resonate with those figures and their followers. It's about targeting specific groups who might not be traditional Trump voters.
All right, so let's talk about their messaging for this rally.
They're
using the slogan, "Fix everything Kamala Harris broke." And honestly, what does that even mean?
It's vague, sure. But that's deliberate. It's designed to tap into a general sense of dissatisfaction with how things are going, the economy, cultural issues, you name it. Remember, Trump has a history of talking about straightening things out, fixing New York, tackling crime. This is playing on those same anxieties and positioning himself as the solution.
And it's interesting that he's holding this rally in a lot of his recent events. In traditionally blue states like New York. He even mentioned making a play for New Jersey and Virginia.
Really?
Is that a realistic path to victory, or is something else going on?
Flipping those states to red? That's a long shot, definitely. But there are other strategic reasons to focus on these areas. For one, think about the impact on Congress. The House is on a razor's edge. A surge in Republican voters, even in blue states, could shift the balance of power.
I see.
That's why down-ballot races matter, even if you're focused on the presidency.
So it's about more than just the top of the ticket. It's about impacting the entire political landscape.
Exactly. Plus, think about the message it sends to hold a massive rally in the supposed enemy camp. It projects confidence momentum, almost a dare.
Like he's saying, I'm so popular, I can draw a crowd anywhere. Which brings us to the sheer size of these rallies. Sold out Madison Square Garden, over 60,000 people vying for tickets.
Wow.
To his Long Island event. This is more than just a campaign stop.
Definitely.
It's a phenomenon. What does this tell us about Trump's hold on his supporters?
It speaks volumes about his connection with a significant portion of the electorate. They are deeply invested in his message and persona. And let's be real. This level of commitment, even with all the controversy, is a force to be reckoned with in American politics.
For sure.
It raises questions about the future of the Republican Party, about the direction of the country.
Definitely a lot to unpack there. So we've looked at the who, the why, and even the where of this rally, that incredibly symbolic venue, Madison Square Garden.
It's not just a location. It's a statement, Trump standing on that stage days before the election. It's meant to capture attention, project an image of strength, leave a lasting impression.
It begs the question, will this be a triumphant last hurrah, or the start of something new?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It is.
What are your thoughts?
And one we can't answer definitively just yet.
Right.
But what we can do is consider what this event tells us about the bigger picture.
Oh, okay.
How does this reflect the state of political discourse in America?
Yeah.
The role of personality, celebrity, spectacle in modern campaigns? Fascinating stuff. And to our listeners, I'd say keep your eyes peeled.
Oh, yeah.
The next few days are going to be interesting, to say the least.
Absolutely. This election has been anything but predictable.
For sure.
And the final stretch promises to be even more so. Stay tuned. We'll be back in a moment to dive deeper into some of these intriguing aspects of this rally. You know, one thing that really stands out to me about this whole rally is the choice of location.
Oh, yeah.
New York City, Trump's home turf,
right?
Yet a place that's been anything but friendly to him politically. It's almost like he's trying to conquer his own personal Everest.
Right. It's like he's saying, I can win over even the toughest critics right in their backyard.
Yeah.
And it's not just any venue. It's Madison Square Garden, the world's most famous arena.
Exactly.
What do you make of that choice?
Well, it's iconic, a symbol of New York City itself.
Yeah.
By holding his rally there, he's tapping into that energy, that larger-than-life feeling. Yeah. It's almost like he's trying to reclaim New York for the Republicans, at least symbolically.
He's definitely talked about straightening out New York,
right?
Tackling issues like crime and homelessness, things that resonate with a certain segment of voters.
Yeah.
It's playing into his image as a builder, a fixer. Do you think he's trying to win back some New Yorkers with this rally?
It's possible, but remember, even if he doesn't flick the state,
right,
he can still impact local and congressional races.
Okay.
You know how tight the House is right now?
Oh, yeah, it is super tight.
Mobilizing his base in New York could have a ripple effect down the ballot.
So even if you're not a New Yorker, this rally could still affect you depending on who controls Congress.
Exactly.
It's all connected.
Exactly. And let's not forget the historical context.
Yeah.
Madison Square Garden has hosted both Republican and Democratic national conventions.
Oh, wow.
It's a venue steeped in political significance.
It's like he's trying to place himself in that lineage of American political leaders.
Yeah.
Using the symbolism of the venue to connect himself to those past moments of triumph.
He's definitely drawing on that legacy, positioning himself as a major player in American politics.
And by doing so, he's reminding people that he's not just a businessman. He's been on that stage before, and he's back for more.
It's a message that's likely to resonate with his supporters,
yeah,
especially given the energy we've seen at his recent rallies.
Speaking of those rallies, the sheer scale of them is pretty mind-blowing.
It is.
Sold out Madison Square Garden, tens of thousands vying for tickets in Long Island.
I know.
These aren't your typical campaign events.
It's more than just politics. It's a cultural phenomenon.
Interesting.
These rallies create a sense of community, of shared purpose.
Okay.
That's incredibly powerful. And for his supporters, it's a way of showing their loyalty, their defiance. They're invested.
It's almost like a rock concert atmosphere, right?
Yeah.
With the music, the cheering, the palpable excitement.
Exactly.
It's something you don't see in traditional campaigns.
You're right. It's a different kind of engagement, a more visceral, emotional connection. And for Trump supporters, it's a way of being part of something bigger than themselves.
It's fascinating to watch even from afar.
Yeah.
You can feel that energy, even through the TV screen.
And that energy can translate into action, into votes.
Right.
That's why these rallies are so important for Trump's campaign.
Gotcha.
They're not just about delivering speeches. They're about mobilizing his base.
Yeah.
And reminding them why they believe in him.
It's a show of force, but it's also a call to action.
Exactly.
It's like he's saying, I'm back and I need you to join me.
Exactly. And for his supporters, that's a powerful draw.
Yeah.
They feel like they're part of a movement,
right?
A fight for something they believe in.
Even if he doesn't win this election, this passionate base isn't just going to disappear.
That's true.
What do you think the long-term implications are for the Republican Party and for American politics in general?
That's the big question, isn't it? This movement, this energy, it's going to continue to shape the political landscape for years to come.
It's a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah.
It'll be fascinating to see how it all plays out.
Right.
Especially as we head into these final days before the election.
Yeah.
This Madison Square Garden rally feels like it could be a pivotal moment.
Definitely a moment to watch.
We've covered a lot of ground here, from the guest list and the symbolism of the venue to the sheer energy of these rallies and the implications for the future of American politics.
We've barely scratched the surface.
Right. There's so much more to unpack here. And for our listener, we'll be back in just a moment to explore some of the broader implications of this rally and what it reveals about the state of our political landscape. Stick with us. So we've talked about, who's going to be at this rally, the strategic reasons behind it, even the electric atmosphere of Trump's events.
Right.
But I think it's time to kind of zoom out a bit.
Okay.
What does this whole thing say about the state of American politics right now?
Yeah, that's the really fascinating part, isn't it? This rally is like a microcosm of the larger political landscape.
Yeah.
You see the deep divisions, the role of spectacle and celebrity. It reflects the challenges we face in having any sort of reasonable discussion amidst all the polarization.
Like we're living in two completely different worlds, each side.
Yeah.
Talking past each other, struggling to find common ground.
I know.
And honestly, with the provocative messaging and some of the controversial figures involved,
right,
it feels like this rally could actually make those divisions even worse.
Yeah, it does raise questions about whether this type of event helps or hurts productive dialogue.
Yeah.
It's easy to get caught up in the us versus them mentality.
Right.
And lose sight of the fact that we're all Americans facing shared challenges.
It's like we've forgotten how to disagree respectfully.
Yeah.
Instead of nuanced conversations, we're stuck in a cycle of sound bites, social media outrage, and demonizing anyone who thinks differently.
And that's dangerous. It erodes trust in institutions.
Right.
Makes it nearly impossible to solve problems.
Yeah.
And ultimately weakens our democracy. So where do we go from here?
Right.
How do we bridge these divides and have productive conversations about the future of our country?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It is.
It feels like such a big, complex issue.
It is, but I think it starts with remembering that we're all in this together.
Okay.
We need to be willing to listen to each other even when we disagree strongly.
Right.
And try to understand the perspectives and experiences that have shaped those different viewpoints.
It's about empathy.
Yes.
Stepping outside our own echo chambers and engaging with people who see things differently.
Exactly.
And it's not about changing anyone's mind necessarily, but about finding common ground areas where we can work together.
Yeah.
And building a more unified and productive society.
Absolutely. It requires a commitment to civil discourse.
Yeah.
Respectful disagreement, and the belief that we can actually learn from each other even when we disagree.
Well said. So to our listeners, I'd say stay curious, stay engaged, and stay hopeful.
Yeah.
These are challenging times.
Yeah.
But we can navigate them together.
I can.
If we approach these difficult conversations with open minds and a genuine willingness to listen.
I couldn't agree more. The future of our democracy depends on our ability to engage in thoughtful, informed, and respectful dialogue. It's not always easy.
Right.
But it's absolutely essential.
And on that note, we're wrapping up this deep dive. Thanks for joining us as we explored this complex and fascinating event. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep asking those tough questions.